In this video, I will provide an overview on 8 really important H-2B rules for employers to know and understand now that your workers have finally arrived and begun working for you. All right, up first, number 1, paying your H-2B workers and U.S. corresponding workers, which really just means your U.S. workers who are doing the same duties as your H-2B workers, paying different hourly wages. Okay, so the H-2B rules do allow for workers doing the same job to be paid different wages, but you need to have a legitimate reason for doing this. And ideally, we already have made mention of this in your already approved H-2B paperwork. So for example, if the DOL wage determination, your 9141 came back with your H-2B wage at $20 an hour, but you want to pay your H-2B and corresponding workers maybe $20 to $22 an hour, then we want to include that in your 9142B with the DOL. So if you check your notice of posting that you put up during your DOL recruitment process, this wage range should be included in that paperwork. If you cannot find your notice of posting, please call me right away at 920-455-5189, and I'm going to send you a copy of it. This will help you to stay in compliance with your H-2Bs throughout the season. Alrighty, now on to record keeping in case of a government audit. You're going to need to keep all pay statements for your workers throughout the H-2B season from the worker's arrival to their departure date. You need to keep these records for at least 3 years. Alrighty, number 3. Number 3 is always a hot topic, reporting terminations and departures of your H-2B workers. So it doesn't come up that often, but this is an important part of the H-2B program. So if you want to fire a worker, or if they quit, or if a worker goes AWOL, you've got to let the U.S. government know about it. This is really important. You need to report any H-2B worker terminations or job abandonment issues to both the DOL and USCIS within 2 business days. So for the DOL, you can email them at tlc.chicago@dol.gov. Or if you still use fax like the DOL does, their fax number is 312-886-1688. Attention H-2 abandonment and termination. Alrighty, so you've notified the DOL. Now you also need to notify USCIS. You can email them at bsc.h2babs@dhs.gov. Now, in this notification, you're going to want to include the reason for the notification, like a termination, a worker going AWOL, or maybe early completion. You should include your USCIS receipt or case number. That's that H400 number. You're going to include your business name, address, phone number, and FEIN as well. And you also need to include the H-2B worker's information, their name, date of birth, place of birth, and their last known address as well. And if you would, please put Wingard Law on these email notifications if you're a client. We want to just make sure that they're done correctly and keep a record for our files as well. Alrighty, on to number 4, recruitment records. You want to keep the H-2B recruitment report, resumes from any U.S. applicants, proof of any advertising efforts, and evidence of contact with your U.S. applicants as well. You need to keep these records for 3 years. So what I'm talking about is the paperwork that you compiled during your DOL recruitment process. As you know, as we all know, H-2B employers are required to hire any qualified U.S. applicants who apply during the H-2B recruitment process. And so this is the paperwork that will prove you did this. I'm going to put a link in below as well to some H-2B FAQs about the recruitment process, because we always get a lot of questions about that step of the process as well. Alrighty, on to number 5. Your workers, if they haven't been on H-2B before, they're going to need Social Security numbers. Okay, so your H-2B workers can apply for U.S. Social Security numbers at your local Social Security office with their employment authorization documents, which for H-2B workers, it's going to be their I-94, their passport, and their visa, and then there's a form you need to fill out as well. If you have any questions about how to get your workers their Social Security number, we've also included a link that I posted a few months back about how to get a Social Security number for a foreign worker. About this process, it's pretty straightforward. Alrighty, number 6, worker notification to leave the U.S. Okay, so I am a realist. I know that not all H-2B employers are going to do this, but in my opinion, it is a good idea to inform your H-2B workers in writing that they must leave the United States at the end of the season. Personally, I would have the workers sign an attestation form, kind of confirming that they understand this requirement. For those of you who already do it, or if you want to do it, I've also included a link to a very simple form that you can do to implement this as well. Alrighty, number 7, the DOL workers' rights posters. Be sure to get that up at the work site where the workers can see it. H-2B employers need to display the H-2B worker rights poster at the work site. Most of you will need to put it up in both English and Spanish. I always tell clients to take some photos of it. Really what I would do is I would take a photo of it being up at the work site at the beginning of the year, in the middle of this year, and then at the end of your season as well. And that'll be proof that you kept up that workers' posters rights for the entire season. Okay, so next up, number 8, final point, I-9 employment eligibility compliance. Now, you will want to complete Form I-9 for each H-2B worker, just as you would for a domestic worker. The I-9 is pretty straightforward, and the instructions include a list of acceptable documents to verify employment authorization. For your H-2B workers, it's usually going to be their visa, their passport, and their I-94 print-off. It's relatively straightforward. So there you have it, H-2B compliance. Once your workers arrive and begin working, I am here to help. So if you have any questions about any of this or any of the rules, you just want to discuss H-2Bs, give me a call at 920-455-5189. You can also schedule a link if you want to do a video call on all of my emails. I've got a link to my appointments as well. Really, I'm here to help. I'm here not only to help you get permission for your H-2B workers to bring them into the country and work for you, I'm also here to help you understand and follow all of these H-2B rules. So let's do it together. Give me a call.